everyone. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about your immune system. Our immune system is made up of few organs, many cells and chemicals that fight infection. The main parts of the immune system are white blood cells, antibodies, the lymphatic system, spleen, thymus, and the bone marrow. These are the parts of our immune system that actively fight infection. The immune system keeps a record of every single germ that it has ever defeated in types of white blood cells that are called B and T lymphocytes, known as memory cells. That means it will identify and destroy the germs quickly if they find their way back into our bodies again before they can go forth and multiply and make us sick. Some infections need to be defeated a few times because of the different types of viruses and the different strains. Now, catching a cold or a flu from one germ doesn't grant you immunity against all the other germs, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So now, let's briefly look at the function of different immune system components. I'll start with bone marrow. Bone marrow is the spongy layer in the bones where the white blood cells are born. The spongy part is found in the flat bones like the skull or the pelvis, and at the end of long bones like arms and legs. Bone marrow also produces red blood cells, which are needed to carry oxygen, and the platelets that we need to help with the blood clotting when we get injuries and cuts. So white blood cells are the key players in our immune system. Our bone marrow is what manufactures them, and they're a part of our lymphatic system. White blood cells travel through blood and tissue throughout the body looking for unwelcomed visitors like bacteria, viruses, parasites, and fungi. When they find them, the attack starts. White blood cells include lymphocytes that I spoke of, like B cells and T cells, and the natural killer cells, and a lot of other types of immune cells. Then we have thymus, which is the organ in the chest that is right above the heart. And a thymocyte is an immune cell that is present in thymus before it undergoes the transformation and it becomes a T cell. Now, and I'm really trying to simplify this to make it easier to digest. So if I'm missing a lot of different areas there, that's because of that. So once they have turned into T cells, then they're ready to go into the bloodstream and look for unwanted visitors. So now, then we have the spleen. This is a small organ on the upper left part of your abdomen. What it primarily does is that it filters the blood and gathers all the old red blood cells and destroys them, and recycles toxins and foreign substances, which are called antigens. Then we have the lymphatic system and lymph nodes. Lymph nodes are small organs all over the body and connected to lymphatic vessels, much like blood vessels. Lymphatic fluid, which is a very clear fluid, moves through these vessels. Now, unlike our blood vessels and bloodstream, which has the heart as the pump, lymphatic does not have a pump, and it depends on our physical activity, movement, or massage, right? So the lymph nodes act as a filter as well as they house the B and T cells. So now, when an unwanted visitor shows up, then it is captured, it is escorted to the lymph node, where the lymphocytes are going to study it and create the antibodies, and then go out into the bloodstream and fight all the other friends and relatives that this particular unwanted visitor brought along. So lymphatic system manages the fluid levels in the body, reacts to unwanted visitors, deals with cancer cells, absorbs some of the fats in our diet and from intestines. So the cells of the immune system are formed in bone marrow, then they change their address and they move to thymus or to lymph nodes, or they go to spleen and hang out there to find work. So aside from this, we also have other defenses against unwanted visitors. We have skin, and which is waterproof barrier, and it secretes oils that have bacteria killing properties. We have our lungs, and the mucus in the lungs or the phlegm traps foreign particles, and tiny hairs wave the mucus upwards so that it can be coughed up. Then we have the digestive tract. The mucus lining contains antibodies, and the acid in the stomach can kill most of the germs. And then we have other defenses. Other than the oil that I mentioned on the skin, we have saliva, we have tears that contain antibacterial enzymes, and they can help reduce the risk of infection. The constant flushing of the urinary tract and the bowel movements, they all also in this together. So now let's add to this the fever. For some reason, people are terrified of fever. As long as this is only by a couple of degrees and it does not go too high, this is the way your body is getting rid of unwanted visitor. Fever also triggers the body's repair process so that it is not really that scary to begin with. So again, this is the best time for us actually to get to know how beautifully powerful our bodies are, and this will allow for us to stay safe through knowledge. That's the key word, staying safe through knowledge, so that we are not fearful of anything. So I will finish this as usual. I will finish this segment as usual with my Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you and I love you. I love you all. Be the light.